Okay, since it's 9 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. First off, I think we like to welcome Jessica to the board. I'm sure her contributions will be a big help, and I maybe wouldn't mind if the board would send Terry a letter, because I think he was a valuable person on this committee, thanking him for his service as well. So going on with that, I guess the next thing on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Everyone has a copy of the agenda. Terry has added a very short report on the recreation grant, so we'll include that as 7.4 and remind me if I forget when I get there. So if that's fine, I need a mover and a seconder to adopt the amended agenda. Moved by Bill, seconded by Jess. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. Does any board member have anything they need to declare? Seeing none, we'll go on to the minutes. Everyone has had a copy of the minutes, so if there's no questions, I need a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Jim made the motion, Jessica seconded it. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Business arising from the minutes. Anything we need to discuss there?
So nothing.
Okay, nothing from Bill or Jess. That's fine. We'll go on to number 6, the financials. Everyone has had a copy of those. If there's any questions on anything, I'm sure we can try to answer those.
I have just one question, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Bill.
Thank you, through the chair. And I'm guessing it's just seasonal, but we seem to be well under budget, but I'm guessing that's just because the 2024-2025 season of skating and hockey really hasn't started in full capacity. Would that be fair to say?
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I believe so, Bill. I don't believe any payments have been made regarding this ice season. Just here and there, the newer groups, but no seasonal ice users have made any payments yet.
Okay, thank you.
Everything looks pretty much in line. I don't see any big concerns there. So if not, I need a mover and a second to adopt the financials.
Just one question.
Okay, go ahead,
In
Jim.
regards to ice payments, is there a date that they're supposed to pay, like skating club and minor hockey, like the 30th of the month or something like that?
I believe it is the end of the month that the payment is due, and they would receive an invoice beginning of the month for each month that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. No further questions? Bill,
Hey,
has
Jim.
go ahead.
I don't have a question. We just received ours the other day from James, and it was still going to Terry. So we just sorted through the logistical administration part. So it's in the hand of our treasurer. So I'm sure she will pay it right away.
Thank you. Okay. Bill moved the acceptance. I need a seconder. Jim? Yeah. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. New business. We've already, I guess, announced that Jessica is now the new member of the board. She's been approved by both municipalities, so welcome again. I guess skating, I don't think we need a resolution from the board because we have it from both municipalities. So skating club update. Jim, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The season is up and running. First of all, I'd like to reach out to thank Adam and his staff for a job well done so far. We're trying to keep everything in control. The numbers are coming in, they're looking favorable as far as registration. We're trying to curtail the activity in the warm room as far as running around, kids playing with sticks and pucks and so on and so forth. Trying to keep the noise level down to a certain degree if we can. because as we know, the ice surface is a training session for the coaches to help improve the children's skating. So all in all, things are looking pretty good.
Thanks, Jim. Any questions to Jim? Seeing none, thanks. I guess Jessica, you're up. Minor hockey report. I know this is your first one, so just go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yep. So I will plan. I just wanted to say thank you for approving me to be on the arena board. I'm excited to get a little bit of an insight into what the arena board does. I will set expectations. As you can see, I am a farmer and it is harvest. So I will likely be joining remotely for, this month and next month, but I will try my best to be in person for the remaining months of my term this year. And I will also get reports in or emails in ahead of time. So it was just a little bit crazy this time, but I am a big proponent of getting everything down in writing. So I'd like to echo the skating clubs. Thank you to Adam and Okay, I'll start again.
Hold on one sec. Just wait till we see there.
There we go. I'll wait till Terry is back. You let me know when I can go ahead, Ken.
Jen and Terry have disappeared, so they're probably furiously working on the computer system right now to try to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I'll just start over again with breaking down the numbers.
We lost you just after you congratulated the staff, so you gotta practice run. Jess, go ahead.
All good. Okay, so big thanks to the staff. Every question I had, they were there to answer it. Anything that came up, they were there to kind of guide us through. We've been using the upstairs meeting room, which they've been graciously allowing us to do, which is very helpful. So they've been amazing, nothing but amazing. So kudos to the staff. Just to break down some of the numbers, I sent the report over to Adam this morning. So we have a record number of 207 registered skaters in comparison to last year. There was 204. And so pretty steady, but definitely growth in the younger ages. We don't have a U18 team this year, which is a significant amount of kids. But I think, as we, move forward, we'll start to see those older age groups come back. We do have a U15 team for the first time in, I believe, at least 5 years. So very, very exciting. The breakdown is 97 Dutton Dunwich to 82 West Elgin, which is a 47 to 40% relative percentage. We've got 2 London residents, 3 Southwold, 19 Southwest Middlesex, 1 Municipality of Watford, 2 Municipality of Brook Elphinstone, and 1 Chatham Kent. So definitely growing outside of our community, and you will see those people that are coming from outside of West Elgin and Dutton Dunwich are our local league players, and then the 19 Southwest Middlesex are our competitive or local league players that technically belong, which is a bad word, to West Elgin because Southwest does not have a rep program. We have 2 U7 teams, 3 U9 local league, 1 U9 MD, which is a competitive minor development, they call it. We have 2 U11 local league, 1 U11 rep, 1 U13 local league, 1 U13 rep, and then 1 U15 local league. So again, great numbers. Definitely growing in numbers. Does anyone have any questions before I move forward?
No, go ahead, Jess.
Okay, perfect. So I did write down some notes here. I just have to get my oops. So we are continuing to offer our Intro to Hockey program, which was new last year. We have 34 kids in the Intro to Hockey program, partnering with the West Elgin Skating Club. I think has been a pretty huge success. I'm hoping to continue that program for future years. And then we also introduced a hockey development, or under our hockey development house league. So those are for kids that did the Intro to Hockey program last year, but weren't really ready to be put into the local league or the rep league divisions or categories. And so it's kind of another stepping stone for the older kids. So it was offered for U11 to U15. And there are 17 of those kids at a pretty much break-even price for us. But it's to keep those kids on the ice, help them develop further, and then hopefully by next year they might be ready to get into the local league division. So that's something new that we're trying out this year. And I think 17 kids is a pretty good success. We're also seeing, kids that are from larger families where the financial investment in multiple kids, kind of deters them from hockey. So it's an affordable program that way as well. Any questions about that?
Go ahead, Jim.
Yes,
Okay.
Jessica, thanks
go
so
ahead.
far. My
Yep.
question, the 17 is moving up to the into the development. Did they come up from the Intro to Hockey?
Most of them did. Yes, that was the intention of the program itself. And then we also found, because it's older kids, so like U11 to U15, we also have some first year kids that know how to skate. So not necessarily, good for the intro program, but aren't quite ready to, play a game, in the local league, let's say. So it's kind of an in between. I can get the numbers, but it's a combination of those two groups of kids.
No, just curious on the production or the progress, I should
Mhm.
say, of those skaters from that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a prerequisite. Like the intro program is not a prerequisite to do what we, Hockey Development House League.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we have our Black and Gold tournament coming up the weekend of November 15th. So far, our U9 local league and our MD is full, and there's a wait list. We have 3 spots left in the U11 local league, 2 spots left in the U11 rep. We're kind of toying with the idea of potentially not having the U11 local league, simply because we're not generating a lot of interest. Right now, only our 2 local league teams have signed up, and we believe that's probably because the following weekend is Silver Stick, and a lot of kids will be entering that, and it's a lot for them to go back to back 2 tournaments in a row. But we'll make it work. But we'll decide when the registration closes, which is on the 11th of October. In saying that, I will have the full schedule over to Adam to start confirming all of the ice times by the week of October 14th, so the next week. We do have a food vendor that is interested in offering food during the tournament. It is not the Wallstown Optimist Club. It's a private vendor, but looking for approval to allow that vendor to kind of park in the same place that the Optimist Club did, and just simply use the canteen service area to to take orders and serve the food. No need for water, any of the fryers or anything that the Optimist Club has used in the past. They're fully, a turnkey operation. So I think there needs to be approval on that. And Adam kind of said that should be fine, but I'm not sure if I should bring that up here.
To know, I don't have an objection personally with that. I don't know if we need a resolution or not, but I think
Okay.
everybody's in favor. No one's shaking their head no anyways, so go ahead.
Okay. Perfect. So then that's all for the Black and Gold tournament. And we have our Jamboree starting to fill registrations for that. So that's our U7 division. There are currently only 3 spots left, and that's taking place on December 30th. There likely will not be any food offered at that one. It's just a 1-day event. We might have maybe a mini fundraiser for the organization doing chips and pop, but maybe we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Something else I want to bring up, and I've chatted with Adam about it, and he said, let's talk about it at the arena board, is the organization of sponsorship fundraising committee is looking to, do some unique fundraisers that you might see at other organizations or other centers taking place. So wanted to just give you a heads up that this is sort of what we're thinking. And then maybe as we, go through the details, we can ask more detailed questions about it. But I know in the rules and regs of the procedures, approval was required at the arena board for anything outside of what would be deemed regular hockey. So a couple of ideas that we had were a teddy bear toss, which kind of falls under our, Comets Cares program, which is more community activities. Chuck a Puck, which is a fundraiser where you would pay a toonie or something to stand at the Zamboni end and kind of like a toonie toss, whoever gets it closest to the line, is something that we were looking into, as well as like a shootout challenge. Now, when these events will take place, I'm not quite sure. We're looking at the insurance perspective of that through OMHA, but just wondering, and I don't need to have the answers now, but from an insurance perspective at the municipality, looking for kind of, what would be the minimum amount that we would need, and if we would be allowed to do these type of events.
Okay, good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Insurance, I'm going to refer that to staff to maybe get an answer on that. So.
Okay.
All of our rentals and that are minimum 2 million. So 2 million would be the minimum we're looking for.
Okay. That's what I figured. OMHA's come out with like options for special events. I think they recognize that, it's not necessarily just registered players that are, sometimes, on the ice. So they're offering kind of like special events if it meets a certain criteria. So that shouldn't be a problem for us. But I think, as we get kind of like the dates and everything, I can kind of bring those forward as we confirm. I think we're looking for, to do these things at potentially like, our big nights, which are, Friday nights, which are our biggest attended games. So something along those lines. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Oh, I think, go ahead. Have you got anything else, Jess?
I do. I do. Prior to signing the contract, we didn't really realize that Halloween fell on a day where we have quite a bit of ice, and they're not going to likely use it. So I kind of asked Adam, what the process might be for releasing that ice. I understand it's a contract, but if the arena was able to resell it, would that, to another group or, private rental or whatever, would that be possible if we released it now to not be charged for it? Just a question. I don't have high expectations.
Go ahead, Adam.
Thanks, Jess. I also was going to bring that up.
Okay.
Seeing as though minor hockey has younger groups that are going to be out trick-or-treating that night. It is under contract. They have signed, but staff that is scheduled for that night is offering to use a holiday and not incur our staff costs for that. So I was looking for approval from the arena board to remove those. I believe it's 4 or 5 hours, Jess.
Yeah,
Off of their ice contract for that evening.
it's our longest night. Almost.
So that's your recommendation that we approve that. So,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I need a mover and a seconder to accept. Okay, moved by Bill, seconded. Need a seconder. Jim's not.
I think
Jess, Jess,
I'm
can
a
you,
conflict.
you want to second that, Jess?
Am I allowed to, or is that a conflict for me?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Okay, any other questions on that? And I guess just to clarify, we wouldn't be losing very much money with if we were not paying the staff. It would probably be pretty much break even.
Yeah, I would assume so. To be for 4 hours of ice rental, the building would be closed for the evening.
Yeah. Okay, I guess no other questions. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, Jess, did you have anything else?
No, that's it. That's
Okay,
it for me.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Good first report. So.
I
Okay,
think Bill has a question.
go ahead, Bill. Sorry. I learned to
No,
look up.
no. Thank you through the chair. Just curious, Jess, how was Timmins? Could you tell us a little bit about the Craft Hockeyville wrap up?
Yeah, it was awesome. Very different than ours. So for those that don't know, as take off my whatever hat I'm wearing and put on my Craft Hockeyville hat. Mary Jo and I and family were invited to kind of pass the trophy on to the next winners. It's something that didn't happen at our event because they did 2 in the same year, and the city, Sydney, Nova Scotia, that won the year prior to us because of COVID, their game took place after ours due to scheduling. So we didn't have that element in our Craft Hockeyville celebration. So it was cool to see, to go through that. So we, officially passed it on to the next winners. Much bigger venue, so it took place in Sudbury. And so it was so interesting because ours was like a sea of blue, right? Like everyone had their jerseys on, whereas like I would say like maybe 20% of the people had jerseys on. So it was the Penguins versus Ottawa. So I don't know if it's just like the location that created that different dynamic, but there was like 5,000 people there, so it was a lot less intimate than ours was. But great game, like in terms of like entertainment value. Tons of fights like in the preseason, which is wild. And on a personal note, we happened to be staying in the same hotel as the Penguins. So when we arrived, like all of my our kids got to like meet Sidney Crosby and like Malkin and all that kind of stuff. So it was like very, very exciting. But it was a great experience to kind of pass that, torch and close that chapter of Craft Hockeyville.
Thanks, Jess. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the report on on the grant application. Bill and Jess are a bit at a disadvantage because we do have some information that was copied here about the cost estimates, and maybe for your sake, we'll just kind of read through that. I can do that, I guess. So the component costs are the creation of the two additional dressing rooms from the ticket booth entrance and office area, including the new front entrance, the renovation to the canteen, extending the warm room, washroom renovation to address accessibility, existing dressing rooms, cosmetic improvements, paint, floor, fixtures as needed. That total cost is estimated at $1,125,000. They've also included the dehumidifier replacement. I think we talked about that at the last meeting, and that's planned for 2025. So that's $240,000. They've included also the replacement of the dasher boards, glass benches with no timetable, but it's $275. And of course, the engineering and architectural design permits and signage is $140,500. So that comes up to it with a total cost of $1,905,500. A little more than we had originally planned, but then we do have some things in there that we knew we were going to put in anyways, like the dehumidifier. So at 50% funding, the potential grant would be $952,750. And of course, we'd have to pay an equal amount to that. So based on the current reserve balances, and I have some questions with that, the 2024 transfers from Kraft Hockeyville is $440,000. That would leave a balance of $512,750 yet to be raised. But I guess my question to staff is, I know we have the $250,000 from Kraft Hockeyville. We have the $150 from West Elgin. Dunwich finalized their contribution of $104. That was kind of based on the formula. So I don't think that he had that in that calculation. And I think we had over $200,000 in reserve for the dehumidifier as well. So if you, and I think there's 20,000 or so other money floating around. So we have over 700,000 of that raised at this date. So if that leaves us a balance of about 252,000, doesn't look quite as bad, I think, if you put that in. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if any of the members have. Ryan, how are you? I didn't see you come in there. I don't know if any of the members have any questions on those figures. I think it's a good idea to. None of us want to spend any more than we have to, but it's a good idea to include as much as you can in that grant if you can get 50% funding. So any questions so far?
Just one comment to add to that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The replacement of the dasher boards was something that Mr. Carswell had mentioned. I guess it was identified, but not in the capital forecast. So that was something that he wanted wanted me to bring forward. That something that the committee wants in there, that it needs to be done. Adam, were you? I believe you were part of that meeting.
Go ahead, Adam.
I believe in years past we have budgeted money, haven't necessarily spent much in terms of board replacement, but it has been identified as an ongoing concern. The current boards, I believe, have been in place for nearly 30 years. They are due for some repairs, and we just figured we could piggyback off of this and include it all in as one.
certainly makes sense to me. I don't know if anybody else has any questions there. And I guess anytime you can get 50% funding for anything, anything that needs to be done should be included. So,
I would agree with that, Mr. Chair.
okay.
I do have one other question. You mentioned 250,000, 150,000 and 104,000. What was the other half the money you mentioned?
I think we had, I'm going by memory here, and that's always dangerous, but I think we have over 200,000 in the reserve for the dehumidifier.
Okay,
That's,
thank you.
and I guess the other plus is we do have in our budget, I think we have a $50,000 contribution this year to capital. So even if we are a little short, we'll probably have some room to pay some of that out of next year's budget as well, and maybe the year after. So that makes sense, staff.
I can bring this forward to Mr. Carswell and update those numbers and bring that back to the committee.
Go ahead, Jim.
One other question, Mr. Chair. When would this be initiated? How soon could things start to happen?
I believe yesterday during our meeting, we were seeing as though each kind of entity of the project are kind of 2 or 3 different separate projects, depending on timing. If we are successful, we're possibly able to do the boards and dehumidifier next summer of 2025, and then renovations in 2026. That was the discussed plan yesterday.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jess.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one question about, I've just vigorously been writing down numbers here, that there was 252,000 balance to raise. Now you've addressed a couple of options. Has there been talks about just doing community fundraisers with, you see at other arenas, a donation tree, something along those lines?
Yeah, I think we've had some discussions about doing some fundraising. Of course, this grant kind of came along, at the 11th hour, which is good timing for us. So, yes, I know we had talked about at one time going to Green Lane Trust Fund. I think we're getting closer to being ready to do that. You never know how much money they'll put into towards an arena, but they usually are pretty supportive, especially if the municipalities and the general public are supportive. So I would think we'd have a good opportunity getting some money there as well. But yes, we probably need to do a little more fundraising. I guess I'm a little concerned that maybe we should actually even expand the building a little further. When I look at the front of it, you were going to put a new piece halfway across the front. It may make sense to go all the way and put any building you have, I think, it's always a big addition when you build it, but it's never big enough once it's done. So that's just something I have personally. I don't know what that would look like with halfway across, but I'll just bring that up and we can talk a bit about it.
We are scheduled to go and meet with the architect on Friday to try and get some concept drawings done. So we can, when we do get those, we'll bring them back.
That's fine. And maybe if you're meeting with him, maybe it would be a good time to just ask what it would cost. I mean, we'd only be building 2 walls and a roof and a floor, so it's not maybe, like I said, if we're going to do it, might be the time to think about it. I don't know if anyone else has any concerns. I mean, that's a stupid idea, but
I'm inclined to agree with you, Mr. Chair.
Bill, go ahead. Oh, I lost your voice. I think you're muted.
Well, muted.
Yeah.
I think I had
No
this
problem.
figured out by now. So with regards to that concept of exploring the idea based on this new grant opportunity, if we are successful, that really drops down how much I was thinking we were going to have to fundraise in the community. So I think it's certainly worth, looking at expanding those additional walls if possible. And just of note, I would say that there seems to be a positive appetite in the community for the idea of possibly moving the cenotaph, if necessary, to accommodate those renovations down to the Rosalie Krebs Park on Monroe Street by Tim Hortons. So I just put that out there in the event that that appears to be if that would appear to be an obstacle, that's something that the community seems to be comfortable with.
Okay, good. I don't know if Ryan, if you have any concerns, or Jess, go ahead, floor's open.
Nope. Makes sense to me.
Okay,
No, I'm excited. This grant, it sounds like it's a game changer for what we're trying to accomplish. So very excited, and as a West Elgin Minor Hockey, we're on board to support anything. If I take that hat off and I put on my Craft Hockeyville, I'm sure we can maybe help with raising some funds as well. I know we contributed about $20,000. So I think that's what Mr. Chairman was referring to from our merch sales. But we definitely can get creative in the many hats that I wear.
any other questions about the fundraising application? Anything from staff we need to talk about? We covered everything? Okay. Staff operations update. Adam, I guess you're on the hot seat now.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. We thankfully outside weather has kind of settled down for us and humidity has dropped in the building, so making it a lot easier to make ice and keep ice. Most of our groups have begun using ice, with a few groups yet to start. I'm currently down a heater in the warm room. Just need a technician to come in. Now that it's getting a little cooler inside, I'm sure groups are starting to feel the coolness inside there. But that should be taken care of here shortly. In terms of Zamboni advertising, sign guy Ed Doherty should be getting out to lunches signage on the side of the Zamboni in replacement of the West Elgin Dutton Dunwich Fire Department sticker. So that will be taken care of hopefully in the next week or so. And we did hire a second part-time staff just recently, and she has begun her training. So we're actually busy training her this week and the next couple weeks, and she will be working mainly weekends. So that's about it.
Any questions for Adam? Seeing none. Thanks, Adam. I've heard that the ice is in pretty good shape up there, so I won't say from where, but you can guess. I don't think we need a resolution for anything there, so. Anything else we need to talk about while we're here? Go ahead, Bill.
Sorry, just real quickly. I did not have the opportunity until this point to really think about it. And I just wanted to acknowledge and thank Dutton Dunwich for stepping up with that really significant donation of $104,000 towards the arena expansion. I don't imagine it's easy for a municipality, even though we have this wonderful partnership and friendship and we share our resource, which is the arena. It's a different municipality. So I'm sure it's a more difficult decision making donations to benefit another municipality. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and thank you, Dutton Dunwich, and just say how appreciative I am of the friendship and the partnership that we have.
Well, we've always been a partner for, not always, for quite some time, and I think neither one of us can afford an arena on our own, so if we can't get along and partner, then we'd all be in big trouble, I think, so I think there's a good understanding there that it's your arena, but we're a good partner and we will continue to be, so appreciate that, Bill. Okay, if there's nothing else, go ahead, Jim.
Thank you from the skating club as well, Mr. Chair, Dutton Dunwich.
Okay, I guess if there's nothing else, it gets down to the important resolution, the adjournment. I need a mover and a seconder to make that happen.
We'll
Moved
make
by
a motion to
Jim,
adjourn.
seconded by Ryan. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
See ya.
Yep.